I'm Casper, I'm still getting paid to run this YouTube channel, and to be honest, I don't really understand why, because you have just seen me start working with this video, and I really should have started around 2 weeks ago. So this should be a problem. However, the bigger problem is that whatever I have created for it is just not going to be interesting for you, and it wasn't fun for me to work with. I have attached some eyes to the rover in order to make sure that I know what it's thinking about in any given moment. This is extremely important because I'm still working with the nerve turret that I have created to shoot my coworkers. The problem is that every single functionality I want to implement has to be tested on me. That means that right now, when I'm trying to implement some automatic shooting mode, this thing is going to constantly try to look in my general direction, find my face, and start shooting. So for a guy with 2 eyeballs and wanting to keep at least one of them, this is going to be a bit scary. So I've decided that I need to have something that is going to tell me that the turret is right now armed and is going to be dangerous. I should have used just some simple LEDs, however I've decided that if I'm going to do something that I don't really want to, I can at least give this robot a bit of personality. So I've looked over the internet, found that a lot of robots with personalities have eyes, and decided to attach some to the rover. So this is my solution. It looks alright, that's the only thing that I like about it. However, I don't really think that it works great. Still, it's okay, because I don't care about making it better. I have started by creating a simple simulation that creates a screen with bounds the shape and size of the screens that I'm using with the rover. Then I have placed a dot in the middle and decided, hey, it looks pretty okay. However, it would be much better if it were to move. So I've stolen code from a guy that has created googly eye glasses and made it bounce around. It looks okay, however, it does not convey that many emotions. So I've decided something needs to be done. My solution to this problem was eyelids. I have implemented a system that could create 2 of them that would change the shape of the eye. This way I can make it look angry, sad, bored, or have its eyes closed, which is going to tell me that, hey, it's safe to be using it right now. This solution works pretty okay, however, only in the simulation phase, because the moment I've decided to switch from the simulation to the real deal, problems have started piling up. The biggest problem with my simulation is that it can pretty easily switch all of the pixels every frame. With those screens, it's basically impossible. With a simple Arduino board running those, I can get around 3 FPS. So I have decided to switch for a faster microcontroller that's called DC 4.1. With it, I can get up to 20-something FPS. It still isn't smooth, but it works much better. There is a solution to this problem, and if I am going to switch only the pixels that have changed between the frames, this thing is going to run much faster. The problem is I don't know what those pixels are, and running any calculations comparing those 2 frames is going to be really slow. Okay, let's talk about the differences between the simulation and the real thing. So the simulation works like this. In the beginning, it creates some fake displays and creates bounds so that I'm going to know how it's going to look on the rover. Then on those empty screens, it's drawing a dot for wherever the iris is going to be and 2 lines for the eyelids. Next frame, it forgets about anything that has ever happened, goes back to the blank screen, draws new circles and new lines. This is great because I don't have to think about anything that has happened between those 2 frames. The real system works differently due to the fact that I cannot update the whole screen at once. This basically means that I am only drawing whatever needs to be drawn, and it's much harder to do. If I want to move the iris between frame 1 and frame 2 to another position, I need to think about removing the old iris first, otherwise I'm going to end up with 2 circles connected to each other. My solution to this problem was pretty simple. I've decided to take the position of the first iris and place a white dot on top of it. This should remove it. Then just create a new iris in new position. This works alright, however it implements a lot of flashing, so it had to be fixed. My second solution was to just create a new iris in a new place and then create a ring of white pixels that is hopefully going to remove all of the pixels of the old iris. Does it work alright? Yes. However, it leaves a lot of stray pixels. Is it a problem? Obviously it is. However, at this point into the project, I've decided that I hate it and I don't want to waste more of my time working with it. So I've decided to just switch to the second thing that needs to be done and just get rid of it as fast as possible. The last thing that had to be done was me implementing the eyelids again. And as you might imagine, it's going to have the same problems. That's why I need to draw only a part of the eyelid every single frame. Because if I were going to remove the whole eyelid from the first frame, just to draw the new one in the next frame, in the worst case scenario when the eyes are closed, the whole screen would be outdated, which is definitely too slow. So that's basically what I did, and it works alright and is pretty fast. However, it comes with a few problems, and the biggest problem of all is the fact that the library that I'm using is incapable of drawing thick lines at an arbitrary angle, which basically means that that was something that I had to implement. I have went through the documentation of the library that I was using for drawing the lines and have learned that I can draw rectangles, triangles, and circles and 1 pixel thick lines. With this knowledge, I have looked through the Google for solutions for drawing the thick lines and have learned that it's basically just the same thing as drawing 2 triangles connected with one side, which is basically what I've implemented. It works alright, and since then, every single time a line is drawn on the screen, it's basically 2 connected triangles. I thought it's interesting, but now when I'm talking about it, it doesn't seem so. Still, that was the last thing that had to be done. Obviously, apart from wasting a week of my life trying to fix all of the bugs that have arisen along the way. This is the moment that I have decided to finish the project. I don't like it. It's slow, works only barely. If I'm going to move the rover, it's not going to react to the changes in IMU really fast because of reasons, I guess. And I hated every single second of working this thing the moment I started going from the simulation to the real thing. Still, it's good enough for me to understand what is happening, and I'm going to just leave it at this stage. Probably never go back. There's only one good thing that has happened during my creation of this project, and it is that at some point I got so irritated that I have decided to shoot the rover with the blaster. And good thing that I was looking at the eyes, because they have moved when I have hit them. So this is amazing information for one simple reason. If the IMU that's inside the rover is capable of registering hits, I should be able to turn this thing from a simple turret mounted on a rover into a 1v1 game where I'll be able to shoot the rover and destroy it, otherwise I am going to be the one getting hit. So that's the idea for the future video. That's also something that I have never done before, and it's going to take me ages before I'm going to finish. However, it also seems much more fun than what I have created for this video. So I'm sorry for wasting your time, and I sure hope the next time I'm going to show you something that is actually interesting. As of right now, that's it from me, and I have just made a lot of noise. I can make more. Goodbye.
Jeszcze?
Dobra, stop.
To z was nie łazi.
Zauważyłem.